Hey everybody, it's Caitlin with Glitter Champ coming to you from the back of our warehouse to give you guys a quick tutorial on how to do the fishing lure tumblers, which are great for guys and any fishermen, but Father's Day is coming up, so we figured we'd do a quick video on how to do these. And it's as easy as it can possibly be. So what you're gonna need is obviously your prepped stainless steel tumbler of any size. My personal favorite thing you need is a nice pair of fishnet pantyhose, as well as 2 to 3 or 4 colors of spray paint. But for this video, we're just gonna do 2 colors. So what I'm using is Uber Matte, this is Lake Blue, as well as Rust-Oleum Key Lime, and this is a gloss, but it works still the same. So in order to do this, you will first need to dress your tumbler in its nice fishnet stockings. I always get the thigh-high ones just because I don't feel like I'm wasting as much material. So what you're going to do is line up your fishnets onto your tumbler, and it gives you that nice scale look. You will have where the toes go, which is right here. So what I actually do is use that as my dividing line for the two-tone look for the tumbler, so it looks like a fishing lure. So what you're going to do is take your first color and you're gonna do one side, and then you'll do the other with the second coat. So I always make sure that my fishnets are on there nice and tight so they don't move around as I'm turning the cup. So as I'm moving the cup, it stays nice and tight. Perfect. So I'm gonna start on this one with the lime green, and the wind is blowing this direction. Always know where your wind direction is. You can do a little test spray and see which way it goes, and that'll show you, but that way you don't spray paint your cars, your house, or anything that's super important. So in order to do this, you're kind of basically doing an ombre with the paint for the tumbler, which you would do like with glitter, but with paint, and it's super easy to do. So obviously you'll hold this out. You will get spray paint on your hands, so if you want to wear gloves, you can. And you just lightly spray. So here's the bottom half here. Now I'm going to do it down the sides and then the bottom. So when you do this, like I said, you will get spray paint on your hands. See, mine's a nice shade of green now. All right. All right, so now I've got the bottom half done, which is this green color for this cup. And if you want, you can always do a nice color. I just do this because I base it off of like lures that I've seen that my husband and I use when we go fishing. And this actually is one of his favorite ones. So, so I've got the green on the bottom, stainless steel color on the top. So we're gonna spray paint that with the Uber Matte Blue. And right here, you're gonna try to blend the colors together so that they kind of overlap just a little bit. So basically, you're gonna end up with something that looks like that. So this is where basically the belly of the fishing lure would be if it was a real fish. And I actually don't mind when it has the overspray. So if you look, it's got that little overspray, but to me, I kind of like it, gives it a little extra texture. So much spray paint. All right, and you can fiddle with the lines as much as you want to get the effect you want. Like I said, this is one of the easiest tumblers to do because just like that, you're done with the tumbler. It's got a couple little spots here I'm gonna touch up on the blue, easy. There you go. A little bit more on this side. So now it's going to dry for a minute. And so what I'll do is after this dries, remove the pantyhose, which I'll show you guys in a minute. And this is, by the way, like I said, probably should wear gloves. But so what you would end up doing is cutting out eye decals right here, and you can do fins, different things. I always do this and I add like one of the Gangster or the Diva glitters to give it just a hint of a sparkle, because guys don't typically like their cups to be glittery. All right, so now that this is a little dry. Also, you can reuse the pantyhose. I'm usually doing more than one cup when I do these at a time, so you know, it's just nice and easy to get them all done at once. Plus it helps you because you now have a stencil for where your lines go, which is always a good thing. Oh my goodness. I'll set this down when I take this off of here. I love doing this outside because it dries super fast. So after you take off the pantyhose, you end up with the nice fish scale pattern on the cup. So I'm gonna come back to this and I'm gonna put some epoxy on it and the decals, and it'll be all set. It's Caitlin again with Glitter Champ, coming for the second part of the fishing lure video for the tumbler. So this is the tumbler the next day. It just has one coat of epoxy on it, and that's just so that I don't have any issues with the vinyl, the transfer tape taking up any of the spray paint. You can also just use a spray sealer, but for how I like to make them, I just do the coat of epoxy. That way, if I need to adjust anything, I can and do it quickly. So what I've done is I've cut out on my vinyl just the fish scales that we have on our website. And the way that these will lay is they will go just right here on the ombre of the cup. And you want it to kind of be about you want to leave about probably 3 inches here between where the scales start here, because you're going to put the eyes, which I have those cut out and they're down here. So this side is the most difficult part to do, in my opinion. So I always start with the hardest thing first so that I can get to the easy stuff next. The vinyl I'm using, in case anyone wants to know, is just Oracle. I don't even know what kind it is. It's just a matte dark green vinyl that is made by Oracle. I got it at just my local vinyl store. So I'm going to go and just peel this off and we'll get to sticking it on the cup. And I did do a 30 ounce. This is a Hogg, like I said the last time. And I did this cup because it's a little bit trickier to get the vinyl to lay on because it does have the curve, but I love a good challenge. So what I'm going to do is just set the cup here and y'all can see how this is done. So when I do these, I'm going to start, like I said, a little bit back, and you just set it where you want it. And I just kind of go piece by piece so that then I can get the vinyl to lay where I want it to lay without having any weird little bubbles or something that come up in the vinyl. It just kind of makes it easier for me. Kind of like a weird rocket back and forth kind of thing. This is difficult to do with the camera. That part's done on the top, so now we're making our way down the side of the cup. All right, and so there is first set of scales on the side here for this half of the cup, and I'm gonna go do it on the other side, and this part is where it kind of gets a little fun. I'm gonna show you from the green side so you can see as it kind of blends in on the darker side. So, I'm gonna make sure it's all stuck to my transfer tape. So what you're gonna do is take your piece here And if you notice, it's kind of it's opposite of what is on this side because it's been flipped. So I know where my point is here, and I'm just going to turn the cup around so that when it starts, it's going to be pretty even with where it is on this side. Now, depending on how OCD you are, you can measure it off and tape it and make sure that your lines are exactly the same. But I'm not really that picky on this type of a cup because men don't notice if it's exact, unless they're a little OCD like some people can be. Then, you know, maybe go ahead and make sure it's perfectly exact. The fun thing is you can make these cup match a guy's like favorite fishing lure. All right, so got my vinyl here. I'm gonna try to do this so y'all can see. I've got it about pretty much dead even. Okay, so all right. I'm just gonna go ahead and start laying it. And like I said, same thing. I just kind of walk it down so I don't end up with weird little air bubbles that I have to go in and fix. Look at this. And once you get the first section done on the top part, it gets quite easier, especially since it does get thinner. The vinyl design does. So, I mean, I got pretty much in line with itself. So now I have both sides of the scales done. And now I'm going to put my eyeballs on here. So when I make these, I actually do 3 decals on top of each other. You don't have to do it with 3 dots layered, but I kind of think it gives it a little extra pop to it. I do fish, so if I can make it look like a fishing lure as much as I can, then I will. So on this, you're going to want to try to make the eyes about 1 inch above where your line here is. So they will end up being kind of almost to the top, but not quite. You're gonna end up leaving about 1/4 of the space in the top here. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do this part. You don't want to make sure you don't go all the way up here to the top. You want to leave some space for it. So this is my bigger dot, and I'm going to get it about, that looks good. I know this is not the most easy thing for y'all to see. So there's my first dot right there. And now I go in with a smaller dot, and this is in a super holographic vinyl. It's one of the Cricut vinyls that's an iridescent, or I love this color. Everyone in here's been talking about how bright it is. So you're gonna layer this on top. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's on top of the dark green. Then you go in with the third dot, and again, this is just how I do it. You can just do 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. I'm just making it so it looks like the eyeball on a fishing lure. So now you go on the other side and you try to line it up as best you can. Again, you can use a tape measure or tape to get your lines in the same spot. I just kind of freehand this because It's just kind of, I don't know, it's how I've always done them. So when I do this, I'm going to try to do this as best I can for you guys so you can see. So I have my dot here, and what I usually do is just take my hand and run it along the side here. It's a little too high. There we go. Yep. So my the main dots go in with the third dot. Sorry, this is the second, not the third. So we're going with my second one. Oh, my cup's rolling away. And then you put in your last dot. And there you go. So my 2 eyes on the cup, and that's all you have to do for the fishing lure cup. Some people do put like a vinyl hook underneath, like if it was an actual lure. I don't put those on there, that's just my preference. If I were to put someone's name on it, I would always put it on the belly of the cup, which, like I said, this is the belly. Otherwise, these tumblers, I mean, they don't take much effort to make, and with Father's Day coming up, it's a great cup just to make for someone for Father's Day or just for fun. Yeah, I mean, this takes like no time at all. The longest thing you're gonna wait for is the epoxy to cure. So that is how you do your fishing lure tumbler. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we're gonna get another video up in a couple of days. So y'all enjoy. Have a great day.